Alright, today we're covering another common Ford failure on the Ford trucks, and that is the sloppy shifters caused by worn out, chewed up, spit out shifter bushings. So you may notice your shifters just a little bit sloppy in here. There's always going to be some play, but yeah, you see this one's popping around in here. Let's give you a better look at it. Like you can actually pick it up and down. The bushings are just totally gone in there. So today we're going to show you how to get inside the steering column, drop it down a bit, and change those bushings out, make this nice and solid once again. Now this steering column design was used for many, many years. I would say mid-90s up until, I don't know, mid-2000s, late 2000s. Same exact design, failure, all that good stuff. So what you're going to want to do is remove the trim panel right here from the knee bolster. Now some of these you just grab onto them and pull them down, whereas this is a 99 Expedition, so we need to pull off this upper trim panel, which just snaps in, and then you look underneath it and you'll see some screws, okay, holding this one in place. So it depends, but either way, we're going to get that out of the way on your model, and then we're going to come underneath here and we're going to look for these screw holes. You'll see them. And just about all of these, let's see if we can get in there, took a Phillips bit like that right there. So there should be 3 of those. You'll see them on the column here. And that will separate the 2 halves of that shroud around the steering column. Also, this right here, yours may have a Torx bit in there, or like this one, it simply screws right in. So you just grab onto it and you twist it out of here. So let's go ahead and get these pieces off so we can get access to the core of the steering column. Now, once the column is to this point right here, lower shroud's off, knee bolsters out of the way. This top part, you'll notice, is being retained on most vehicles by the key and the housing for the key. So what you want to do is have the key to the run position, and then down below here, you'll see a little button, okay? We're going to press in on that with any kind of little tool. You'll notice it goes right in. At that point, you can just grab your key and the lock housing and it'll come right out. Like so. And now the upper will come right off. Now before we get in and start changing those shifter bushings out, you want to go ahead and screw your tilt lever back in just temporarily, so we can pull back and drop the steering wheel down as far as possible to get some working room in here. Now up inside of here, up inside of here is where the shifter bushings are at. These right here. You can see this one actually spit it out. It should be under the strap right here. You see it right here? Now the way these work is that this is a shift tube for your shifter that transmits your shifter position down and out the backside there to a lever, and then attaches to your shifter cable for your transmission. Now the wear item is supposed to be this bushing right here. So in order to make it slide back and forth as it twists in these straps, they use these bushings on the front and rear, and it's the wear item. Next, we're going to go underneath the steering column here, okay? And we're going to locate the 4 nuts that hold it in place. They're 13 millimeter. There's one there and there. And these front ones don't have much adjustment, whereas the rear ones, they're straight back. You see one right there. And right there. They have some adjustment. Now you can either use witness marks, where the old nut went onto the column, or you can do paint marks so it lines back up perfectly, so the steering column's nice and straight. But in general, these basically just fall back into place because the front ones don't have much adjustment at all, and it locks everything in place. What we're going to do is we're going to take out the front ones completely, okay? And the back ones we're going to leave in. We're just going to take them down a couple notches and make it drop down far enough to get to the rear bushing on the shifter. All right, that looks a little something like this. I'll loosen the back ones, you know, bring the nut down and maybe an inch or so. Both sides pretty even. And then we can go after the two front ones here. Take them totally off in the front. There we go. And we can easily get to the back here, no sweat. Now the best thing to do is bring your little seat up and let her rest on it. That way it goes down just enough to get our hand in here, but we're not yanking on anything, like namely the indicator cable right here, okay? Holds it for us, we can get in here and work, no problem. I mean, look at this. There's tons of room in there. And it's all being held up and supported by your seat right here. That is the way to do it. All right, we have some proper lighting in here now, and we can get access to both of these straps. Now the back one I already took off of here. The front one comes off the same way. It's a T30 Torx Bits. Okay, and just, these are loose already. Now going back in, I recommend blue Loctite on these, just to make sure they don't loosen over time, which can accelerate bushing wear, because it's just flopping around there more instead of smoothly sliding. So pull your straps off, your two bolts, okay, and just make sure it's not cracked or missing any pieces on here. Generally they don't crack. I've seen one or two in my past, my experience. Clean off this excessive debris on here. Now at this point, this shifter tube, you know, it's loose in here, okay? I mean, it's attached back here still, but we can slide in the new bushing on there. This front one, ugh, it's just totally gone. So I'll find a split and pull it out. Now once the old bushing is out, you want to go in here and clean the tube itself, the surrounding area, stuff like that. Now ideally, you would have compressed air. You can see it's collection area for dirt, and just clean up the groove where it sits and all that stuff. Same thing with the back one. I don't have compressed air, believe it or not, because we're moving to the new shop today. Well, yesterday we did, and everything's gone. So I need to finish this vehicle up and get over there. Now on some, if not all models, you're gonna have a shift interlock solenoid right here and bracketry. You wanna also remove that, same thing, T30 Torx heads. And we can get that out of the way and have full access to our shifter tube without any interference here. So just take these out. Now this one, on this particular model year, I had a third bolt back in there, same thing, T30, and now it kind of just leaves the area. And it's still held on back there so it doesn't fall. Now you can see it moves around and we can get to it. Now you're going to notice your movement of the shifter tube is going to be restricted by this boot housing right here. So this simply pushes into place and pulls off. So we're going to wiggle it here and over here, and that'll come up like that, and there you go. It's flopping around in there. So we can get in there with our rag and compressed air and clean it out the best you can. This one's been going for a while, so there's metal shavings in here too. So we'll get it nice and clean, and then we'll pop the new ones in. All right, and then you just simply place the new bushings on. Be careful. They're quite stiff. Get them on there. Same thing down here when it's pretty clean like this. And it should all just kind of fall back into place. Now the bushing position does not matter. I like to keep the slit right here facing down. That's just me. And then we'll clamp it and it rides up here where it's not split. That's just me though. Okay, so once they're on, you're gonna pick up your shift tube, you're gonna bring it forward, help it along back here, and then we're gonna simply going to lay it back down into place here. Let's see, that looks like it's lined up. And what you're doing is you're getting the ridges on either side here lined up with the groove. The little pocket it sits in. There we go. And going back in, I just put these in hand tight. There is a spec, but I like to feel how tight they are. It can be a little hard to get a torque wrench back in here. So these ones you'll know it when it bottoms out onto the middle housing, and then you just give it a little bit more. The key here though is that the ridge is on either side of the strap, and it'll self-center and be good to go. If you use a 1/4 inch ratchet like this and you kind of grab it towards the head here, you're not going to over torque these, and they'll be good to go in the end. Right there. You can kind of just feel for it. You'll know when it stops, right? Right, it stopped right there. Let's say it stopped right there. Whoa. A little bit more. And that'll hold these in place. Now once the shifter tube is laying flat in place and tighten these straps, we can go after the brake shift interlock back there and get that secure. Alright, those are on. Let's go ahead and put this boot back on. Mine's a little cockeyed in here. Has 2 notches it slips into. There and there. Ugh. Okay, these look good. These look good. Yep, these look good. And we'll just go ahead and bolt that in back there. This interlock solenoid was on top of the bracket of mine, so we'll try to get back that way, like so, and it'll just kind of fall back into place. All right, everything looks good. There we go, it fell into the groove. A little notch there it sits in, a little pocket. And that'll line everything up for us. There we go. Now because these are way back in here, you don't want to cross thread anything. I'll do by hand all the way down. It's faster almost. And then we can just do the same thing. Tighten them by feel to 1/4 inch. That will take care of that. This 3rd one back in here. You can see, I mean, the steering column, you take it apart and try to rebuild one of these. It looks a little complicated, but you just take one step at a time. Hopefully watch a good instructional video like this one that walks you through it step by step, and you can change these components out. No problem. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. Don't forget that 3rd one back here, if you guys have it, that 3rd bolt. All right, and there it is. Look at this. Ugh. I'm picking up in this whole column now. There's no slop, so it's good to go now. Okay, so what we'll do is take a little ride together, see? And we'll just kind of line it up in the holes there, see them? It's got these spacers that align it perfectly. So let's get it up high enough, and then we'll put them in by hand so it holds it for us. Here's the other one. And then we can go down below and tighten them evenly. Okay. Okay, so what I do is I'll bring the front up first. A little bit. And then we'll do the backs. We'll kind of do them evenly. So that brings it up evenly. Crisscross. I think the torque spec on these bolts, these nuts, is around 30 foot-pounds. I'll put links to the torque specs for everything down below. Now at this point, with the steering column bolted back to the dash, we simply start putting all the pieces back on that we took off going in, okay? The one exception I do want to show you on camera though is putting the upper shroud back on and the ignition lock. It's a very simple procedure, but I want to show it on camera so no one's confused and stuck. So we're simply going to place the shroud back on, get it into place. There's a couple of different spots on here to align it, like the hazard switch. A couple different places it kind of falls into place on here. There you go. And once it's in place like that, you simply take your key and ignition lock cylinder. We're going to place it in to the groove, line it back up in there. Only goes one way. Okay, the lock, of course, faces down. A little. There we go. And then we're going to push it into place with the key, again, still in the run position. It'll fall right in. You'll notice you can't pull the housing out no more. At that point, you simply turn it off, take it out, and reassemble. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check us out. Catch up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see you next time, guys.